to another episode of Duel-cast. We are fresh off of our set review and talking about our first impressions of the set. And so now we're going to go over a few other things, a few fun things that we've encountered with this new set, Unearthed Prophecy, and go through the survey also that we had put out a few weeks ago to go over the responses and have a little chat with all of you about that. Admittedly, a one-sided chat because you can't say anything. With me as always.
They already did say something.
Well, that's true, I guess, but they don't get to respond. We're going to close the survey after this and then it's over.
Never to be seen
with
again.
me as always is my co-hosts. Jason, how's it going?
Hi guys. When I look inside my lemon heart, I see my lemon ways. Right?
Okay.
There it
You can
is.
answer my question, but how you doing, Kevin?
That's how I'm doing, man. When I look inside my lemon heart.
So you're sour?
No, man. No.
You're sour, bitter, and full of anger. No, it sounds like you.
Yeah, that's
Good description. I like how you painted that. Spot on. All right.
People will understand. Real fans will understand.
real people.
real,
Yeah.
real
Okay.
fans.
And how are you doing, Kev?
He said fine. You asked him twice.
I did.
So concerned.
Well, I couldn't hear him over you explaining your opening, so I wanted to ask again.
I'm good.
All right,
It
good.
was a good opening.
I'm glad. No fruit metaphors.
No, yeah,
No.
I keep it straight. I'm good.
Okay.
People
All right.
don't need to delve into the meaning. I'm good. I'm good today.
All right. So we put out this survey so it looks like at the beginning of July. So it's just about a month, almost a month since we did that, and we wanted to go through it, see what was the highest voted responses, and if we kind of think if that's still the impression or if people still would think that now that the set's been out for a while or what.
Oh man, you know what? This is good. I just realized this is a good time because I got to put up another series. This is a month old. Time flies.
It is.
Got to do another survey.
So the first question on the survey was which faction are you hoping will get the biggest boost with the next expansion? And Vitruvian was first in that list, got 32% of the vote. Abyssian was second with 25, and Songhai was third with 23. So Abyssian and Songhai were pretty close. And then nobody thought Vanar was going to get, or was hoping Vanar got a boost. It was 7 people.
Or Magmar, like
yeah, which makes sense. Those were the two top factions prior to
I didn't
Unearthed
think
Prophecy.
I didn't think Vitruvian was like one of the least strong last like expansion stuff. I thought they were
No, I thought
pretty decent with the new removal and stuff.
I think people were hoping dervishes would get a boost because I think dervishes weren't so great, but golems were definitely good in Vitruvian. But I think those hardcore Vitruvian players who grew up around the dervishes.
I think dervishes was still pretty decent. It's just more they didn't get like any real boosts besides the removal, like the dervish. Like the faction took like a sideways progression rather than like stronger.
And the previous set, Vitruvian got Blood of Air, which definitely made it that was way better than it.
That's all they had to release for Vitruvian.
Yeah, like you get one card, that's it.
I mean, the truth is it was like Blood of Air and then this other deck of golems and stuff. But it was like, for the most part, it was just like, here's Blood of Air. You're welcome. Everything is better now. And that card is so good. I mean, not that we have to talk about Blood of Air a ton, but it's pretty nuts how amazing that card is,
Yeah.
Like, transformation
not only answers anything,
is the
but
key word.
Yeah, the fact that it transforms it and it gives you 2 points of burst damage. It's like
all those
Yeah.
times that they have like a ranged dude off in a corner with, cast something next to it. It's like, it's nice that it like changed the dynamic of, it's just great. I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's just a great card. The fact that
Yeah.
it does so many
That card alone, I'm wondering why Vitruvian's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Abyssian is definitely the one that needed the most help.
I would say that too. They were. I mean, I don't know how Jason feels with his Nocturne deck, but
Oh man, unstoppable. I mean, I was surprised that many people thought. I mean, they knew that just like Vitruvian had Blood of Air. I was like, do people know that I have Nocturne? I don't need anything. I don't need your help. I need your help. I don't need your pity. Yeah. No, I needed it. I haven't played this in a while. It's a sad day.
yeah,
But unfortunately, I don't think Abyssian got a ton. Like, 2 of their commons are like not, or one. I guess one of them's a common and one of them is an epic, but they're just bad. Like choking tendrils, destroy an enemy minion on friendly shadow creep. Like you don't ever play that card, and Nether Meld, teleport any minion to a friendly shadow creep. Like, you don't want to be doing that either. I mean, Phantasm is made some decks pretty viable. They're like basically beat down Abyssian. You play, your Saber Spine Tigers and stuff like that, and you just rush them for 10 at a shot.
Yeah.
And
have you guys seen many control Abyssian decks? Or not really.
I've seen a few running Desolator. Which is the 4-drop that's a 3/1 and it has opening gambit, steal 2 health, and then it returns to your hand when it dies.
Yeah.
I've seen people, that's basically their win condition. And so they're running that and Nekomata. When it dies, you draw 2 Dying Wish minions from your deck.
Okay.
And then just none of the new removal for Abyssian, but all the old stuff, Punish and Ritual Banishing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the Sentinels are good. I mean, all of the Sentinels are good because they just make your opponent play awkwardly. Like, even if you have a Sentinel that isn't super impactful, they don't want to attack. They don't want to play a spell. They don't want to play a minion, and they got to really not do what they wanted to. So I think any faction that got Sentinels,
it messes with tempo a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was playing in Gauntlet and I had 2 Drake Dowagers in my deck, and I had the Moonlight Basilisk, which is the one that gets +3/+3. I'd play one of them and my opponent would never attack. Like the general would never attack.
Right.
And
I see that a lot.
And then the one time he tried to, I had some poor guy play, it flipped the 5/5, so it was a 5/5 now. He had punched it with his general, so it was 5/3, and then Phoenix fired.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
And then it grew, and then he had to Onyx Bear Seal it to really get rid of it. So he basically just took 5 and wasted 2 cards.
I've been playing a Sentinel Vanar deck for a while, and I mean it's one of these things where like Vanar is still really good. There's no bones about it. It's people complain that they nerf Circulus, but the deck is still nutso. And now that it has Sentinels, it's even just silly. Is Santa visiting one of you guys? And I will see all the time you play. I only run the 2. I don't run the switcheroo Sentinel. I just run the spell and punchy one.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, but the Basilisk and what's the other guy? The
Dowager.
The Dowager. The Basilisk and the Dowager are both like game-ending cards on their own, and all the time, you play them, and then your opponent will just be like, "Oh, I'll just only cast creatures from now on." That's fine. I'm just gonna cast creatures, and I'll always just be like, "How is this game still going on? Where you've just conceded to not play hardly at all anymore?" And then when the Basilisk does flip, like it seems like I don't know. I've just been seeing a lot of like Songhai And like Songhai just can't really deal with the basilisk because they make it huge and they need to have some pando thing to make it go away, and
Yeah.
they Phoenix fire it trying to see how the timing of it works out, and not in their favor.
Sad emote.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I just wasted a removal spell, and now you have an 8/5. Great.
Right. So
Yeah, sad times.
but yeah, Abyssian definitely didn't get a whole lot, it doesn't seem, and Vitruvian's still pretty. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I have seen successful Doom decks where people built hyper control, and usually they have Desolator in that deck too, because you have
It's
kind
like
of
a
your alternate,
secondary-
your alternate win condition,
and it can help just sustain.
right? Because it keeps you
because of
alive.
health.
But yeah, it's funny, your opponent plays it, and then you're just frantic, like you're literally trying to sprint because now there's nothing you can do to prevent you from dying now, aside from killing your opponent.
Yeah.
I'll say this, I just played against a Desolator deck, and it could be just that it was a bad matchup, or maybe the build is bad, but I just thought, like, I don't care. Just like, this card is doing nothing. I could have, like, I was playing my Vanguard deck, and it's like I could have turned it into a wolf or just dispelled it or done all kinds of stuff to it. But at the end of the day, I was just like, if you want to spend half your turn doing stone nothing, go ahead. Like, that's fine. I mean, they play it. It's 4 mana is like 50% of your turn most of the time. And so it's just like, okay, if you want to drain me for 2 for 50% of your turn and get a 3/1, okay. Like, if you want to spend 4 mana, 8 mana, 12 mana, 16 mana for 2, 4, 6, 8, fine. That's a kind of a bad return. If you're not doing anything, if you're not leveraging that in a bigger way, then nobody cares. Just have your Desolator, and I'll just, not care. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be down on the card. I'm sure someone out there is like, I've got it so broken. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen someone play it where I'm just like, oh no, what am I going to do? And,
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to be, I don't know. Not they counterplay, but the player has to find a way to make it cost less. But I was going to say, Vitruvian is funny because people really wanted it buffed. And I felt like the Vitruvian Golem deck, and as a matter of fact, now I'm playing my Vitruvian Golem deck, and I feel like it got better having done nothing to it. It's kind of odd. Yeah, like the meta is just in such a way that it's like, oh, if I just play my Vitruvian Golem deck, I'm just fine. Like, there's this weird spot in the meta where it's just like, good stuff deck is good, and that's what I feel like the Golem deck is, just like a lot of like solid on curve cards that have utility all the way up the ranks, and then top it off with EMP, and that just kind of shuts everything down. Especially now with all the different like sentinels and stuff and creatures that have, special abilities where they, like take Basilisk for example, right? Like they have like this accruing value into the late game, and it's like, oh well, if I play EMP, that just goes away, right? Like all of it goes away, all of your tiles, all of your buffed things, all of your cute little abilities.
Not tiles. It doesn't silence tiles.
Oh.
Yeah. But
It doesn't?
everything else. No.
No,
No,
artifacts and any minions.
Oh, well, that's silly. I haven't EMP'd very many things because most of the time the game is just over. But yeah, I don't know. I just think like it's just good.
I mean, besides, like tiles isn't like a huge thing right now. I don't think.
Right.
I haven't seen.
I played against a battle pet deck that was using Primal Flourish. It was kind of annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you lose?
I did lose that game. Yeah, but I was also testing out my new deck too. So, but yeah, those grows on Primal Flourish are a little scary.
Similarly, I will say Imperial Congregation give all the minions in a 2x2 area +2/+2.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Primal Flourish, except like immediate and only once. I had said before it was bad, and I went back and I rebuilt a deck. Kevin, it was kind of your deck. Remember you built that like weenie deck with Ancient Bonds?
With, like golems and
yeah, just like a bunch of low-cost golems that all pump and buff each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of built a deck very similar to that, and I just put Imperial Congregation in it. And that can get nuts because you can, like, you know, turn 1 and 2, depending on if you're on the play or draw, you play a couple little dudes, and then turn 3 you play Imperial Congregation, and they're all just like gigantic. And then you're like, all right, like now you just have to deal with my 6/6s and 5/5s, and, you know, you're just kind of ahead of the game, and really kind of blow them out. But so what's the next question here?
Next question is, what synergies are you looking forward to the most? And the winner with 41% was the new faction tiles, and then below that was Sentinels with 31%. And, I mean, that makes sense. Those were the two new things that were in the set. They, you know, there was new, you know, AOE stuff, new Death Watch, new Opening Gambit, but those are all existing mechanics. And I think Sentinels is way more exciting than the tiles now.
Right.
But I don't think people have, I don't know if they've figured out all of the ways to abuse the tiles. Like I've seen some pretty well-built Zeron Hallowed Ground where you just, you know, you heal 3 times in one turn, and, you know, you've got a mobile Holy Immolation with your Sunriser. Like it's I've seen some pretty tight decks, but I don't know if that's been kind of expanded to the other areas. But Sentinels are just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the winner of the survey is the new faction tiles, but I feel like the loser of the set is the new faction tiles. Like I feel like they didn't really live up to what everyone kind of would have liked them to have, but
yeah, I mean, it's another thing. It's kind of cool.
The Vitruvian one is good. Like you don't need to build a deck around it. If you have, you know, anything
that the Vitruvian one is very good.
Right.
Yeah, because you just need one, and then I'm going to play a thing every turn, and I'm going to get another thing every turn.
I will say, in regards to the tiles, is they do not feel balanced on scope with each other. Like if you could put a rarity to these tiles, they would clearly have a distinct like power differential. Like
Abyssians would be common.
Yeah, Shadow Creep is far underwhelming compared to some of the new ones.
Yeah.
And it's a little awkward that just like Songhai and Vanar are the only 2 factions. It's like 4 out of the 6 factions have.
Well, they got
now.
Sentinels. I think that was
the trade-off.
I think so.
Well, that's what they gave them, but it still remains that like. So 3 faction got Sentinels, 3 faction got tiles, but then Abyssian was like this middle ground where it's like they had a tile too. I mean, they didn't have Sentinels before, obviously, but
that's why they got Sentinels also, because they were like, well, these are pretty bad, so we should probably help them out.
I mean, I understand the release logic behind it, but it's still at this moment you feel like, oh, in the next set or 2, I feel like they should bleed out Songhai and Vanar tiles or something. But
yeah,
just
I don't know. Vanar's tile would be like any enemy minion standing on this gets dispelled.
Right. I mean, that's clearly the balance that they've struck with these tiles, though. Like we have legendary with Vitruvians. All right, so we need an epic legendary. That'll be Vanar's.
Songhai's would be like deal 1 damage to all minions next or enemies next to, or like.
Well, that would be stupid.
Cool. That would be cool, man.
Crazy.
That'd be too powerful. That'd be.
I mean, that's
teleport a minion standing on this to a random space on the board,
or teleport a minion, if you like cast a spell, teleport a minion to that spot, an enemy minion to that spot, like, and then you could just do the backstab stuff or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is way too, I don't know, crazy, but what if it was almost like if you put your minions onto the spot and then next turn they could move anywhere they wanted?
They get flying for
It's almost
The gain flying.
yeah.
oh, like a jump pad.
Yeah. I just say that
Neat
because
idea.
like backstab, you like set it up and like they know it's coming.
They would have to. They wouldn't be able to put it on as many cards as they did with the other sets because if the
That
whole
would be
board had all
powerful.
those, yeah,
Yeah.
like they'd want it to be like on one card where it's like, okay, you can get like one or two of these in a game, but like you can't be doing this all day because people aren't gonna have that.
Or it uses it up after you do it once. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
stay.
yeah, that's
like
true
it's
too.
a one
I don't
time.
know. It probably wouldn't exist, but it just I don't know. It's just-
Look, just notes for counterplay, just notes.
Yeah.
That's all. Just a
We're
couple
just
ideas.
we're just spitballing. The next one was a yes or no question. Are you sorry for the Vanar hate after seeing cards like Mage Sworn?
People don't care.
Overwhelmingly,
Resounding no.
84% said no, we're not sorry, and about 16% said yes. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Vanar is still good, but I think there's a lot of other decks that are also good. So I don't think Vanar's in
Yeah.
the same spot that it was. It's still
I
solid,
don't really
but it's
see
not.
Mage Sworn. Really?
No,
But
because
I haven't like
I mean, you'd run it in.
the Alabaster.
Yeah, that would be. But I don't run it in that deck, so. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like it was definitely targeted towards Vanar, but I don't know that it. I don't think it's made a huge difference. People are still playing Vanar even though that card exists. I mean, maybe we'll start to see it a lot more, and then no one plays Vanar or even Songhai because
I feel like Vanar might. I mean, I don't know exactly what the current like MVP of the set is yet, but I think they'd have to be somewhere where they were last season or last expansion, like that.
Yeah.
That amount of people playing it for people
Yeah.
to start playing Mage Sworn a ton.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of funny because Mage Sworn clearly is this looming factor to prevent that deck from coming back to life.
Yeah, now there's I'll include this now.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny because, again, people just like auto stopped when Circulus got nerfed. And it's like, I run Circulus now and nobody bothers it. Like, I mean, people kill it when they can, but it's like people forget. Like, you know what I do with Circulus right now? Because I'm not running the Owl Beast. I'm not trying to troll people. I have it there for value. And I'll just use it to replace a junk. Like, I don't want the 2/1. I'll just use it to draw an extra card, basically. And
Right.
it's funny when you think about how the mechanics of replace work, is because if you. Sorry, I think I got motorcycles.
Nah, sir, it's cool, man.
You've got a motorcycle infestation at your house, Jay.
If you replace a 2/1, you can't get another 2/1 back.
And so
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like an auto just draw a card. You know, you always have a chance of drawing it at the end of the turn or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's still just kind of interesting that it works that way. Like, when I get one off Circulus, I get to just draw a good card out of my deck. And but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good, but yeah, people don't care. I don't think we'll see that busted Vanar deck anymore. But
No, I don't think so. Because there's something now that will keep it in check if it does.
Yeah.
what's the next question there, Jeremy?
What card are you most excited for? And this one has I'm not even going to count how many entries there are because people could write in their own. Number one though was Trigon Obelisk, and there's a lot of people that are sad about that. About 13%.
number 2 is also
Yeah, the lava storm obelisk.
I think the timing of it was such that I released this survey about the same time that those 2 cards in particular had been teased out,
Mhm.
which I think might be part of the reason why it was so high. But
Maybe.
But if we go a couple cards down, Dagona, nobody really talked about, but Thunderstorm and Phantasm are 2 cards worth being excited about because they are 2 meta-changing cards.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phantasm is everything Nocturne wanted to be.
All right. All right. That's our show, everybody. We gotta find a place to bury Jeremy's body. That's it. It's gonna take us a while. It'll be about a week. We'll be back next week with a fresh new co-host from Russia.
But they can't play the game, Jason.
Oh. But they can talk about it.
A little awkward.
Oh man. Oh man.
All right, let's leave it at that.
Move along.
Right?
Move along.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Yeah, I mean there's a bunch of good cards in this set. Unfortunately, the obelisks I don't think are as good as people thought they were at first sight. Trigon really isn't good. Lava Storm still does work. I mean, it's not.
What?
Yeah, it's. You think it's bad?
No, we're in 2 different. We're on the opposite sides, man.
We are always.
I would have said the exact opposite. I would have said
fine. It's
Lava
not
Storm
great.
can't be played. Trigon has
a
something.
place.
Yeah.
No.
Have you played?
They're yeah.
I don't know, man.
I have, and I've seen other people play them. Lava Storm Obelisk isn't an obelisk. You don't play it.
It's not a card.
Oh,
Oh geez.
the next question was, are you excited about Counterplay joining up with Namco Bandai? Which I'm pretty sure it's been.
I'm pretty sure it's
Who made this survey?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
But 55% of people said, I'll wait to see what changes come. And 31% said, yes, this is going to bring great things to the game. So 86% were like, this is probably going to be a good thing, or this definitely is going to be a good thing. And there was only 6% that were really like, this is not going to be bad, or it's going to kill the game. I mean,
I just want to say, Jason, how are we gonna get sponsored if you keep?
This was a while ago. I work full time. I come home, I stay up late recording podcasts, starting late because someone wants to just play games.
it's research, guys. It's research.
And then
I'm doing it for science.
Trying to think of questions for a survey. And
all right, how about you don't write the questions tonight? How about that?
I'm not
gonna. I mean, I think Bandai's been fine for the game. I mean, there's 2 things that people are not super happy about: the new diamond system. I've seen a lot of people kind of down on that. I hadn't bought any diamonds until they brought bosses back, and then I did buy diamonds.
Didn't they have a sale on diamonds?
They did, and I missed it, which was unfortunate. I saw it posted, and I was like, "Oh, I'll check that out." And then I checked it out like 2 days after it was over.
Just in
but
time.
I think that's their plan is to do that periodically. That was one of the reasons they said, "Well, we want this new approach allows us to do that."
If we overcharge all the time, we can undercharge some of the times.
Well, they're not overcharging. They're not.
No, I
they
know.
make it line up with
The point being,
with the packages. Like, so they're
You're gonna get a lot
doing
of
what every other game does. Any other game that has, it's free to play but has pay to play stuff, like that's just what they do. And then the other thing is that it doesn't seem like the communication from Bandai's gotten a ton better. And there's also been some customer service, like people buy stuff and it doesn't show up right away, whatever. And whereas before, people would get a relatively quick response, especially when it involved purchasing things. And I've seen some people like, yeah, I haven't heard anything, and I spent $40 on the diamonds and whatever. But I'm assuming that's getting resolved. That just seems like, at least right now, it's taking a little bit longer, which I mean, I guess is reasonable considering Bandai kind of jumped into the middle of this existing ecosystem, and they've got to kind of figure out how to best handle that. But I still don't think Bandai is a bad move for the game. I think it's gonna help spread the game.
Yeah, I think really anything would like help them at the point that they were at, just because things were looking a little grim for a second there.
Yeah.
For who?
And I don't know. Well, people were just super negative.
Well, negative, right. And I just felt like the player base, and now that I'm not sure how much it's improved since like Bandai's been hiring the streamers and stuff, but they're at least making an effort. Whereas before, it didn't seem like no effort was going into advertising or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What features would you like Counterplay to focus on first with new development time available? Number one, and I wholeheartedly agree with this, mobile app. I would cross out stability and just availability would be the word I'd put in there. And because I really truly miss the app. Like it was great. I could play a game sitting on my couch, watching something on TV or whatever, and now that just don't have that flexibility. So
I would love to foster my ADD with a mobile app in that fashion.
Yeah. I mean,
can I just oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you could buy diamonds from there anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
You could just sit on the couch and eat chips and soda and ice cream and buy diamonds and watch TV too.
It sounds wonderful.
Sometimes
I hope they bring it back.
Sometimes when I'm watching TV, I just think this is so boring. I wish I could spice it up and have fun by spending money and doing that by buying some diamonds.
Yeah.
Because diamonds are a gamer's best friend.
Yeah.
They should definitely put that on a t-shirt. Bandai.
Trying to work out that sponsorship, yo.
Trying to redeem. Sorry, Namco Bandai. But here's an idea for a shirt. And then on the same question, the next closest response, 21% rebalancing of older unused cards. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think it's worth
I would love to see that. Well, I don't know how worth it is to them, but I know I would appreciate it. Some of the cards are just kind of meh. I don't know how it makes sense, like financially, like doing all that work for cards that people already have.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
maybe if they did it, they could do it in the form of like maybe they could do like an evolve type of thing where in order to get the new balanced version, you have to
invest more into it.
To evolve the card.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if they want to get that sweet diamond out of me, that would be a way to bleed it out, like, hey man, you want that card to be better?
Card playable,
right?
It's gonna cost you.
I mean, maybe if they like change some of the like unplayable legendaries that everyone just disenchants that no one has anymore, they could change those. And
They've got to be able to look in their database and be like, nobody plays this. They just scrap it.
this card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I don't
they
know.
could do a thing where if you disenchant it, you get a bonus amount of, they'll give you a rebate because they know it's a bad card.
Spirit, like, we're sorry this card is not playable.
We done messed
We're
up.
sorry you opened it in an orb, so here you go. I mean, honestly, I think what's probably more feasible and makes sense for them financially and things like that is to, as they move forward, try to make new cards that synergize so well with the existing cards that they're all of a sudden they're not terrible, right? Like, and that's what I think they need to do. Because I mean, it would be cool, absolutely, if they went back and they fixed, I don't know, Alter Rex, and which is a 5-mana 4/4. Whenever you summon Mechazor, put a Mechazor in your action bar. It'd be great if they went back and tweaked that card so it wasn't just you never should play that.
Yeah. Or like Envy Bear.
Yeah, like
I'm pretty sure Envy Bear was like a player's, like one of the players, and they made that card for them. Must feel bad.
yeah.
Now
I think
your digital version is just like your real life version. Nobody likes
a lot
you.
of the cards though that are made after real people, like they're fine, they're good in Gauntlet, but no one plays them like in any competitive decks.
Yeah.
Like Grincher's great in Gauntlet, but no one's putting that in their ladder deck. So I just think, but so I don't think they're going to go back and change Envy Bear.
Like,
but
9 Moons is played.
Yeah, that's true. But
And it's a little different, but maybe.
Yeah.
I do want to say something real quick. You got some fans, Jason. You got some fans.
Me?
There's 2
happened?
votes down at the bottom. Nerf Nocturne.
And one of them
yeah.
was not me. So
Yeah, one of them wasn't. You dirty animal.
I was not one of them.
I was not one of them either. And someone wrote that in. It's not like we.
Yeah, it is. They did get it written in. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, wow.
Well,
I don't know. Let's be honest. We don't know whose fans they are. They could be mine because they could be agreeing with me or being sarcastic to Jason and agreeing with him. So let's jump the gun here.
Take it out of the 250 plus people that voted on this survey. 2 of them are a fan of us.
Yeah, you take one and I'll take the other.
Yeah, exactly.
I want John.
That's a clip. That's getting used. Gonna drop a marker right there.
You do that. And
So-
John will be happy.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he will.
Well.
Yeah. So that's the
That's the survey.
survey. I like how people wrote in Nerf Serpenti as well.
Oh,
it's pretty.
So we should just real quick talk about. So can I just say, that was my first time when people wrote in Nerf Serpenti. More people than Nerf Nocturne, I guess, but Nerf Serpenti. I didn't realize it was such a big thing that people were joking about with that card. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, we get to this boss battle for this week, and it's Mega Penti, and it was just counterplay, just trolling on all of us duelist players. I think that was kind of fun of them.
It was pretty.
Did you see the what is it? How when you start a match, the 2 generals talk to each other, and Mega Penti's thing is don't talk to me or my son Serpenti again. Like it literally comes up paying homage to that meme out there.
Oh, is that what the meme is? I don't know. I
Don't
said,
ever talk to me or my son again. Really, you guys don't know what I'm talking about?
no.
John
What is that
does.
about?
John understands.
John understands. Yeah. Good old John. He's such a good fan of yours.
He's over there laughing.
Oh
Like,
man.
Jeremy, he's so meta with his humor.
Yeah.
Well, my fan Lloyd gets my obscure reference from the beginning of the podcast. So.
Why can't I get a? I don't get a fan, man.
Well, there wasn't 3 votes on Nerf Nocturne.
Yeah, sorry, Kev. Maybe next time.
Maybe.
Larry didn't show up to
Yeah.
vote.
Larry's like, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
It's like
Kevin knows.
screw it.
Kevin knows how I feel. I don't have time for this survey.
He knows that I'm apathetic. I don't like to do anything.
And that's why we like each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the survey, and we are planning on doing that semi-regularly. It won't be the last survey, but
No.
No, yeah, as a matter, I'll probably by the time you're listening to this, I'll have shortly, if there's not a survey up, there'll be one in a short order. So
we're just gonna need to proofread all of the companies involved to make sure before we post it.
jeez.
All right, moving on. That's the survey.
You know what?
One of
Maybe you can write the stupid questions this month.
No.
all right, challenge accepted.
All right, there you go.
Find out what John wants us to ask.
It's just titled John Survey.
Well, actually, I'm gonna delegate it all to John and just have him write it all,
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
and I'm gonna take the credit for it. So
It's gonna all be about
If-
Nerf
if-
and Nocturne.
If it
that's
goes
the
well.
manager in me.
Yeah. Lazy and useless.
But no one would know because I take all the credit. Well, John would know, but
Just like it's like I think our president wrote about that in a book of his. Incompetent but takes the credit for someone else's success.
oh man.
This
so
is
the
gonna
next
be a
thing-
spin-off. Everyone should know
Oh
we're
my
spinning this off. All
Yeah,
politics. all the
Jason's gonna
time.
have. It's called ranting with Jason, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna be him yelling about something. It has nothing to do with Duelist.
Gonna be 10 minutes of progressively less coherent screaming, and then 50 minutes of me sobbing uncontrollably. I appreciate your support.
Oh, like is that it? No. Oh no, he started crying again. Okay.
What's our next topic?
Our
dude?
next topic is we got a comment on Reddit from the last one where we talked about RNG meta, and we talked a little bit
Winged
about
Weasel. Winged Weasel.
okay, calling him out. All right. And one of the things we talked about on the last podcast was the difference in the essentially how you buy packs for this set, Unearthed Prophecy, compared to the last two. And we kind of said that we think this current set, we liked the model because for one, it's a slow bleed where it doesn't just immediately dump all of the cards into the meta, and you can really kind of focus. I think it's a little more fun that you can, I want to build this deck, and so I'm going to craft those cards. And I think with the other sets, I mean, it was also convenient. You know, you could spend $20 and get everything. But there's cards in Ancient Bonds and Rise of the Blood Bond now is the name of that set.
Disgusting. I just don't like that name.
It's Bloodbound. Sorry,
Bloodbound.
What?
Um,
I'm curious as to know what copyright infraction.
there's a game called Bloodborne.
Oh,
There
that
is a
was
game
spelt
called
the
Bloodborne.
exact same way. Yeah,
oh,
that's
I see.
why.
Yeah, it's like
That's why.
a Dark Souls
Yeah,
type game.
I see. Okay.
yeah. But there's cards in those sets that I never play, like, and have no intention of ever playing. You know, and so I would spend the $20 to get the cards that I wanted, and then I would have cards that I would just like, well, this is gonna sit there forever because I can't uncraft it, and you know, it's just a sad
Yeah.
sad time. Um, so I mean, but to that end, the comment kind of disagreed, where they liked the previous two sets and found it unfortunate that this set was different, that you had to is going to either take a lot more money or a lot more time to collect the whole set. There's still cards in the core set I don't have because I don't want them, and I either disenchant immediately, or I'm just happy
Yeah.
I don't open them.
I mean, there are people that just dump all like hundreds of dollars to get all the cards, and if that's the way they want to play it. But there are benefits to the other model just by getting all the cards and doing your thing with them, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it just I feel like as a whole, even though it like everyone wants the cards now and like very impatient on getting all the cards and they don't want to spend all the money, like I feel like it's still might be good for the community as far as like the meta goes, like because the meta can get very stale very fast when all the cards are released, and because all the cards aren't released, I feel like there's a lot of like I feel like last expansion, like we knew what the meta decks were like right off the bat, like that those were the strongest decks, like Magmar and Vanar. Like there was no like within a couple weeks, it was like those are the decks
Not
to play.
even. It was just like days. It was like
It was so fast, but right now, and maybe it's also because of the type of set that they put out, but some of those crazy like this is the best deck in the meta right now decks aren't like that apparent right now, and like haven't developed, like because there's not as many people testing things because you need spirit to test things and stuff. So there is a benefit. I can see why people like the other idea, and I like that idea, but I can see the benefits of both of it.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think that it's interesting. You know, this guy he or girl makes a comment that they have been playing for 20 plus years card games, and I assume he means Magic.
Yeah,
prior
that
to
would be
this.
the only card game.
Yeah.
unless it's like bridge and cribbage.
Yeah, there have been other, like I remember there was Five Rings that was a thing for a little bit, but I mean it's the odds are pretty high that it's Magic, and if that's the case, then I can certainly agree. Yeah, the progression of having to buy cards in Magic isn't super fun. It's super, prohibitive. It's like a barrier to entry thing, which I mean, Magic is different in that the competitive level is like the player base is much larger, and the competitive level is so much bigger, and so I mean that's kind of just a whole different beast. Like you would have to spend thousands of dollars to get a whole set on a consistent basis, right? Like I think it's like what, $200 or $300 for the whole set of every release, which is 4 times a year. So you're talking about $1,000+ at least to get the whole set, the play set of everything.
That's just I'd be like one of each card, I think.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Not even play sets. Yeah.
Right. And so you got to double or triple or quadruple that depending on how much of. So that's not fun, right? When you go like, well, that's a small used car for a game. And But, some people do it. Some people have businesses based around that whole thing.
Right.
There is something to be said about why Magic is the biggest, longest card game in the world with that model, right? Like, there is, as much as, like, you take Ladder, for example, and this is just a way to think about the psychology of the game, I think, is you take Ladder. Every month you restart to climb the ladder to get to however high you get. What's the point? You're just doing the same thing over and over again. Well, if you got up to S and then you were just there, you'd be done with the game. Something as small as, and now start over again and just do it again. Do it again with a different deck. Do it again with the same deck. Do it again with a deck that you don't like. Do it again with a deck you do like. Just that thing that maybe you don't even... I mean, when you think about what's happening, it took away all of your progress that you worked on for a whole month. Like, that's counterintuitive. But if you didn't do it, you wouldn't keep playing the game. There'd be no point. And I feel like it's similar here, where collecting the cards is like climbing the ladder of some competitive rank or something like that, where it's kind of grindy. You've done it before. It's prohibitive for no apparent reason. But I mean, it's true.
No, yeah.
But if it weren't for that, you'd have nothing. It's like if you guys remember playing games in the 90s and you'd have the up, down, down, left, right, God mode codes on the old PlayStation and stuff like that. Or Nintendo's, or like, I don't know if you guys ever had like Game Genie for like Sega, and you could put all the codes in.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's like you would play the game through like you would normally play, or however far until you got frustrated, and then you'd put all the codes in and you'd do anything you wanted, and the amount of time you spent playing the game in God mode versus the amount of time you spent playing the game in regular mode was like night and day. Like, you'd play in God mode for maybe an hour or two, and then you'd be like, all right, I did it. But there's something about those restrictions that make the game, right? Like, that's what the game is. If it wasn't for restrictions, it wouldn't be a game. I feel like that's what buying packs and getting the cards is. It's like, oh, I don't have that card, like, and you have to make the decision.
It's like a hope to build that dream deck that you have. It's like, I don't know, like, it's like with the other sets, it's like, oh, I already have all the cards. There's nothing more to look forward to, rather than if you're like working towards building that specific deck that you have in mind or whatever.
Right.
It gives you a goal, and without goals, like you said, just doing the same thing over.
There's something about the whole community doing that at the same time, and like we mentioned before, when you could just buy the whole set, it was like the meta existed. Vanar was busted immediately, and everyone just dealt with it forever until they nerfed it like 2 months later. Like, if the sets were bigger and they had released it like this, it would have happened for sure, but it would have been only the people that invested the money up front to buy all the cards to be able to get the cards. You know, like this set, I think if you spent probably $100 or so, you could probably get the majority of the cards, if not all of them, right? And so if whatever players did that are that invested in the game that they want to do that, good, fine for them, but you aren't going to play against them nearly as often as you are someone like me who spent some money but not a ton of money and has to still get a bunch of the cards. And so, you know, the whole community is going through that, and the meta of those decks, we won't really see that, if at all, because all of these cards aren't going to be owned by the majority of the player base at all of the same time immediately, without any other. By the time, you know, the three of us have almost all, if not all of these cards, there'll be another set released, big or small, and that will change how we build and what we play and what we want to do. Yep. And so it just keeps it from becoming like an issue like it was with Vanar and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So the last thing we wanted to chat about was Jay and I have had two interactions with the new set. One that is a little more obvious, and one that's a little less obvious. And I'll let you go first, Jay, since I'm a gentleman.
This is so gentle and kind with the way you interact with me. I appreciate it quite a bit.
Oh, it is very gentle compared to how it
John
could
would
be.
want to do it. He's an animal, that guy. Well, I want to talk about something that isn't gentle should you encounter it. And it's very straightforward and yet very surprising.
Why you gotta talk like that, man?
I don't know. This little guy I like to call
You start like that.
Jason's second language. He's fluent in both English and innuendo.
Yeah.
If you weren't aware.
I don't know what you guys think I'm insinuating, but what I'm insinuating is a sinister silhouette. It's a 2 mana.
Yeah.
1/2. It cannot be attacked. Now you've seen this before on Pandos in Songhai and such, but and maybe it's because it's not nearly as common to do this in Songhai, but Sinister Silhouette, you give that little fella provoke with another card named Woodwen. When, you ask? Wood is when. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with provoke. Give a nearby friendly minion provoke. All right, so here's your game plan. You drop down Sinister Silhouette. Boom. First of all, your opponent is thinking, thanks for wasting your turn, sir. I will now play good cards. And then you play Woodwen. Right away. That's when. And you...
Oh my god.
You give it provoke.
People are like weak at the combo, man.
But can I throw this at your brain face? Aegis Barrier. Okay. A 1 mana legendary in Lyanna. Choose a friendly minion. It can't be targeted by enemy spells. Draw a card. Now, what? Let me ask you. Jeremy, Kevin, answer me this. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Unless you're Vanar. Right. Unless you're Vanar. Like, literally, think about that. Aside from Vanar, nobody...
Songhai.
What are they going to do? Oh, if they have the, like, lightning combo or something.
That's the only thing I can think of that they have to do.
But all of a sudden, you have to have a very particular...
Magmar also has that Dispel a Space.
Or Plasma Storm.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? There's a couple things. Point being, outside of those things, you can make the game very difficult for your opponent and lock them out for a long while. And then if you just start, I mean, you don't want to get too crazy by just like pumping it up and doing stuff like that. Yeah. But the point is gonna about to mute you over here.
Let me
all right, look, okay, there's quite a few things that you can do to stop this from happening.
But in Jason's defense, a lot of the cards aren't played right now.
Right. Like, there's a lot of things.
Plasma Storm it is, but no one's playing Metamorphosis.
And
the common the common cards. Yeah, Macantor is like 8 turns away from this combo. Like this is turn 1.
True.
You're not moving anywhere. You can't. All of your creatures are stuck dealing with this thing. I mean, it's a bad day. So the point being is, it's interesting. Look, did I change your life right now by letting you know about this? Yes, I did. Are you gonna send me money in the mail? You should. But did I come up with this idea all on my own? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, this is solely my idea. All me. Am I running for election in 2020? Yes. Is this going to be my primary platform for election? It is. It is. So I would like all of you to get on the bandwagon as soon as possible. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Woodwen, Sinister Silhouette, Aegis Barrier, win the game.
And why don't you just throw Prison Barrier on it as well, so then Macantor can't get rid of it?
All the barriers, if you could.
Build multiple walls around it.
Just have Mexico pay for those walls. Okay? 2020, Jason, vote.
Jason Lloyd.
Polls.
The Jason Lloyd ticket.
The Jason Lloyd ticket. He's my running mate. He supports Nocturne. It's going to be a good year. America wins in 2020.
Right.
All right. Well, now, thank you, Jeremy, for allowing me.
No problem, man. No problem. So the interaction that I've been trying to take advantage of that is a little more obvious. So it involves the card Thunderhorn, which if you haven't seen that card in action, it's pretty good. People typically have to either deal with it immediately or position things awkwardly because they don't want you to get the value of hitting 4 things, dealing 16 damage with 1 attack. But so one of the things I've been trying to do is abusing that, and with Vanar and things like Hearth Sister, where you obviously reposition something where they thought they've broken that chain, and you put it back. My favorite thing, because you can do it all, it doesn't require Thunderhorn to the next turn for it to not be exhausted, is to Thunderhorn and then Aspect of Shimzar, which turns an enemy minion into a battle pet. And is my favorite thing to do is to play Thunderhorn and then think, all right, how am I going to kill that? And then you make the minion that you need to just walk one space over, turn it into a battle pet, and it walks right up to Thunderhorn, punches it in the face, and you zap their board. It's a lot of fun, and I haven't had a ton of success with it yet. It's fun, but I think there is definitely there's a way that can't be your main thing. Like, that's not your win condition. That's your value generator where you 3 for 1 your opponent or something like that. But it's a lot of fun. You can even do things with repulsor beasts. And you probably can do similar things in Songhai. They have obviously a few more powerful movement mechanics in that faction. So you can, juxtaposition Mist Dragon Seal. Well, Mist Dragon Seal would move your Thunderhorn where they think it's so far away, and then you just place it right in the middle of everything and blow it all up. But yeah, it's fun. And I think people are never expecting you to turn their whatever into a battle pet and have it run up into Thunderhorn and then kill everything else. Like, people, and eventually people will maybe play around that. But that's really hard to play around, because am I going to make everything 3 spaces away from you so that my new battle pet can't hit it? Like,
but I mean, I've never thought about playing around it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you think about, they played Thunderhorn. All right, I'm going to move my things around so nothing's touching. But they don't get to respond to the Thunderhorn Aspect of Shimzar. You do that all in your turn, and at the start of their turn, it happens. Like, they can't do anything And at that point, you're hopefully, you're killing, 2 or 3 things and hitting their general, all at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's pretty
Seems
fun.
neat.
Pretty fun. I may challenge one of you gentlemen after this to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's my Thunderhorn deck.
Thunderhorn it's good.
Have yeah, it is. I have no new combo to share because I'm selfish.
Because you're selfish.
All for you.
And I don't care about you people.
Wow, that's why you
No.
don't have a fan, Kevin.
Whoa, no, Larry will show up next week. I promise. Next survey, he'll be there. Can we get
will, and he'll-
if there's any custom like survey options? Can
Say
Larry
something about
please show
Kevin.
himself?
Say something right in.
Can please show yourself, Larry? I know you're there.
Yeah.
That does it. Tonight, right, guys?
It does it.
Yeah. That's what we call in the biz a podcast.
God bless you. Thanks. So we should just throw out. We got to start doing this. Somebody, the only other person that commented on our post last time was asking about our RSS feed. So this is the first time we've done this, but this is the thing. If you wanna get our feed, you can or subscribe to us. You can do it on iTunes or the Google Play Store. You just have to search for Duel-cast. We have a website, duel-cast.com with a hyphen, duel-cast.com. We also have an email, duelistpod at gmail.com. You can write us an email. You can also find us on Reddit. Our username is uduelistpod on Reddit. And we have a Twit account that we don't really do anything with other than post our episodes, but at some point we'll get on that. You can that's just Duelist Pod at Duelist Pod, right Kev?
That sounds like
Do you mean a Twitter account? Is that what you
Yeah,
a Twit
yeah, man.
account?
Twit.
A twit.
he
You
does
said
mean Twitter.
yeah. You said a Twit account. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. That's a new
Correct.
thing.
We have one.
I need to find out what
a
Twit is.
A Twit
because-
account on our website, duelcast.com, duel-cast.com. You can see all our previous episodes to listen to those. We have our surveys and other miscellaneous things that we post at some point in time.
Jason's politics blog is up there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a slight. It's not really. At one point in time, somebody asked us if we could write a transcript of the episode, and we were like, "That's not the point." So we're sorry for anybody that wants to read all of this. This is an audio podcast for listening with your ears. At some point, we might branch off into video stuff. Give us feedback regarding that. But along with each episode, there's a short blurb that we put up that kind of generally reviews what we discussed in a broad sense in 1 or 2, maybe 3 paragraphs. We also have links to like our bumper music if you like it and you want to go find it to listen to more. All that stuff. So yeah, we're going to start trying to point this out to people more often. So
Come find us.
Come find us. Subscribe to us on the iTunes and the Twits and the Google Play stores.
Oh my gosh.
And
You're such an old man.
we're gonna social media the crap out of this. We're just gonna friend you and say
The social meds.
the social needs.
That's how you say it.
We're
now.
gonna meme. We'll meme stuff. We won't be mean about it either. I am 98 years old. Everyone should. The first time I admitted to it publicly.
I know.
Yeah.
Plastic surgeons have done wonders, Jay.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 95.
No. I don't feel a day old over 95 either. I feel several days over 99. That's
Oh.
All right.
Kevin, you're
There
closing. I
is-
had to usurp.
You're
just for the
closing.
sake-
I'm closing. I thought you were closing.
I closed last week.
Did you?
Yeah, I
opened
told-
last week. Did you
I
close
did a-
last week?
I did a very good job.
Well, My
Sorry,
bad.
Larry. Sorry, Larry.
Kevin doesn't know what he's doing. No wonder
This is why I don't
Larry.
have this is why I don't have any fans.
Larry's afraid to admit anything.
He's like, I can't say it out loud.
Larry's like the those I won't get into the, I was just gonna say those people that voted for Trump but didn't really say anything about it.
So wait, you're Trump? Is that?
I mean, I'm not saying that, but you get
Bad. You make analogies like Trump.
Alright, that's it, everyone. Good night.
I want John. 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 John.